Hey guys, happy Christmas Eve. I shared something yesterday that was kind of received with mixed feelings. It showed a picture of some pottery that was broken, but had been repaired with gold. And in Japanese, that's an art form that these things that were once broken become beautiful because of that. And it seems like in our lives we are broken a lot of times. I know with my depression and my illnesses, I feel broken constantly, especially yesterday. Oh my gosh, I thought I was gonna die. Not literally, but all I was doing was singing with the choir at church. Didn't have a solo, wasn't singing, a part by myself or anything. But I was shaking and I felt sick. I don't know why I felt so panicky, but I did. And it was awful. I was so scared that I wouldn't be able to sing or remember my part that I'd practiced. And I don't know why I'd put such importance on this. It was just a church choir performance, It was pretty casual. It wasn't a huge thing. I'd been in choirs before. But thankfully, our performance part, our pieces were toward the end of the program. I had some time to sit and listen to the Christmas messages that were being presented. And I was able to relax some. Actually, almost fall asleep, but that's a different story. It wasn't because the messages were boring, by any means. It was because my thyroid level's off again, and I'm nodding off really easily. Anyhow, by the time it came time to sing, I was very calm and did as well as I could have hoped for. Probably better than I could have hoped for under the circumstances. And it just reminds me of that story with the broken pottery. Our scars are beautiful. They look ugly to us, and sometimes we're ashamed of them. But our scars can turn us into the wonderful people that we can be. I mean, imagine if some of the greatest people in history had given up because things got really difficult for them. Look at Martin Luther King. He had really hard times in his life. He was persecuted and hated. But he's made such a huge difference in so many people's lives. Look at artists, poets. Oh my goodness, her name just slipped my mind. Oh gosh. For some reason I want to say Emily Bronte, but that's completely different. That's Wuthering Heights. But there are so many poets who have been very depressed and turned what they would think was ugliness into something beautiful. And that's what I wanted to focus on is, yes, our lives can be ugly and seem awful, but especially if we rely on God and accept His help and trust in Him, our lives can be something more beautiful than we ever imagined they could be. Gold is something that we consider to be very precious. But if you've ever thought about it, how does it become what it is? It doesn't start out beautiful like it is. I mean, I have my wedding ring that I really love. Sorry, I know it's kind of blurry. But the gold here didn't start out beautiful. It started out as rock. The process to refine gold is to heat it to just awful temperatures. And it separates the rock from the ore. And it refines it into something more beautiful. And for us to become like we need to be, we're going to go through some awful things. I say this partly to remind myself because things are really hard. My health is getting worse, and I don't know why. I have an MRI coming up next week to see if we can get some answers, but it scares me. But I find strength in the Lord, and that's something that I want to share with you. This is one of the songs that we sang yesterday. And I'd like to share a little bit of it with you. Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin, mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace, sleep in heavenly peace. I hope you guys have a wonderful Christmas. I know I'm going to. I'm really excited.